So we are a startup in the MTN environment. We love what we do. We are passionate about what we do. We don't only do what we do because it's our jobs. We do what we do because we really, really believe that there's a chance and there's an opportunity to better how we do business in the African landscape. Let me just introduce you in a while.
Africa is an inspiring place. It has its challenges. It's why we built Chenosis, for those that see opportunity and shape change in a digital world. To help those that code to do better, cheaper, and faster. And to enable those that don't to realize their ideas without specialized knowledge. In 2022, we teamed up with like-minded innovators to deliver inspiring use cases in IoT, telemedicine, and digital security. We built out our own ambitious leadership team too, and partnered with the wider MTN family to scale our offerings to enterprise, the public sector, SMEs, and even individual developers. We began our journey as an API marketplace, and this year, as we build new capabilities to our platform and pace, we won't stop. We're building a culture that is value-centric, a family that identifies and solves meaningful problems in society through code, a team that prides itself on creativity and agility, a collective that represents the diverse talent of Africa in an inclusive and authentic way, a community that humbly tackles the challenges and opportunities of our continent with like-minded partners. 2023 is the year we've been waiting for. It's the year that we get to partner with you.
Thank you so much for that. We begin with the end in mind, and the video is a call to action. We want to partner with you. We want to partner with you that you bring your solutions and your services onto the platform that we have. We also want to partner with you by exposing our services so that you can consume them for your businesses to better your client experience. How does Chenosis fit into MTN? As you can see, MTN is a big organization. There's a telco and there's a finco, Momo. Chenosis is an API co. We are growing into that. We don't only want to provide APIs, but we do want to also provide solutions, platforms, low code, no code, to enable and to move forward businesses and citizens in South African landscape. Looking at API ecosystems and just where we are, we know all about, I don't need to teach anyone here in this place, we all know about the impacts. We all know about the network effects. We all know about the gain that we can get from APIs and the benefits, the interoperability and the innovation that they bring, the ability to really make our services available to be consumed by everyone else and to benefit from taking from what everyone else exposes into our own platforms. But what we have a mistake in our shortcomings that we make, all of us, is really exposing what only we do in the way that we think that clients want to consume it without doing the work of understanding what do the clients want to see and who are the clients, the corporate, the developers, and anyone in the digital landscape. And why would you do this? Why would you break apart the business and using systems that you get from externally, some that you build internally? It's because you want to respond quickly to the change. You don't have to build everything from scratch as a business. We don't build everything that we do from scratch. We partner with the right minds and we use what we do. And we want to find out creative and innovative ways of pairing these solutions for the betterment of the communities. If you're looking at unbundling ways, we have systems. We've got core systems in our banks, in our telcos that really enable us to do business. But they're only sometimes meant only for banking. They're only sometimes only meant to give you a contract and a phone. They don't do everything else. And there are partners in this room that have other solutions that can come into our core systems. What does that mean? In the banking environment currently, you are able to go in and do banking. They do checks in fraud and what is allowed by regulation. But do they have to build everything from scratch? No, they don't. They bring in partners. And that's what we do with the use of APIs around mobile identity and also around moving the movement forward in terms of alternative credit scoring, which I'll go into in a little bit of detail. And the best way to build these APIs is to take an outside-in approach. You don't build what you build in terms of system and expose it and hope that the users will come and buy. What we found is the best approach that works with us is really to enable, to listen, to go out and understand what clients want to be developed and what clients want to consume and build for that. So you don't build for yourself, you don't build for your own services. So the mistake that I've seen us as corporates do is that we say, okay, fine, this is what we do. If we're a telco, how can we better sell airtime and data using APIs? That's not the strategy that I think works. The strategy is to really say, what else is there that we can use as a telco, as a bank? What information do we hold that we can productize and monetize? So, and also looking then, that makes you stop thinking about yourself, that makes you focus on your users, that makes you focus on your consumers and build the right solutions that are fit for them. I'm not gonna go that much into that, it's pretty much straightforward. I want us to look into the first part of what we do with APIs. It's mitigating the risks in identity fraud. If you look at this, we've got what we call fraud signals that are under detection using the real-time mobile identity solutions to ability to verify and authenticate clients. And how can you do that? As a telco, and as everyone sitting here, we hold vast amount of data that can enable anyone else to really track. And Chenosis has mentioned something very powerful about identity verification, mobile identity. And we take it to not only general digital verification, but to really mobile verification. Right now, if I say my name is Yolanda, and my number is 0738593745, and my surname is Kope, all you have to do is nod, because I say so. How can you really authenticate that I am who I say I am and that this number does really belong to me during the time when I'm applying for a bank loan or during the time when I'm applying for a solution? How can you mix those two? And the people who hold that data to DRest in partnerships with what I'm seeing Comcop, that's quite great what we are doing. But in that space, what we do as a telco is expose the data that we have of the authenticity of who the client says that they are. And we're able to prevent fraud with detecting such things as SIM swap. It's really such an easy check, and it's what we do for a business, but it's great in the banking space, in the environment where you now will begin to understand when the SIM card was last swapped. And if it was swapped at a certain time, surely there must be some fraudulent activity that's about to take place and a user is logging in wanting to do big transactions. Small examples of what we do. Ability to detect device location. If a user is in Joburg and their transaction is taking place in Cape Town, something might not be right. And number recycle. How many times has the user recycled this, this number has been recycled? We all know fraudsters. They will get any phone, they will get any SIM card, they will swap it in and they will chuck it out. And we also move on to verification. There's a big KYC that is regulatory to be done, but there's a small KYC that we provide, the mobile to person match. As I said, how can you tell that this number does belong to me? And ability to authenticate. So what we do with authentication is really just background multi-factor authentication. It does not interfere with what the user is doing. We are trying to do away with OTPs because they can be intercepted. And how do we do something like that? Have a look at the screen. On the left-hand side, my left-hand side, you can see that there's a long process that takes about 45 seconds. A person has to receive an OTP. They have to come back and remember it. If you are using a better phone, it will at least come up as you're about to click. If you are the rest of South Africans, good luck. And on the right-hand side of this, you can see that it takes literally less than 5 seconds with header enrichment to understand the phone number, if the phone number that is being authenticated at that point does belong to the user in the background. And this is non-intrusive. The user doesn't have to send anything. The user doesn't have to click any button as they log onto your systems. It's just one of the examples. And on financial inclusion, why is this important? 66% in Africa, at large, sub-Saharan Africa, are unbanked. And they're not unbanked because they have no money. They're unbanked because there are no solutions that speaks to what they do. telcos have tried to dumb down the products and really give the right approach to the product by developing mobile money solutions, which is great. That only allows the channel to be able to transact on. But the truth of the matter is that those clients are still not able to access credit. Because if there's anyone from the credit bureau, you would know there's something that we call thin files. We have these clients, but we don't have enough information to build up to be able to give indication on whether they can qualify or not for credit. But these are people that are working hard, they run businesses, they have this money, and they are living large where they are living. So what is the opportunity? The opportunity is in inclusion of the unbanked using the telco data sets. And I want to emphasize here, with consent of a client, recorded on both sides, on the telco side and on the enterprise client side who wants to use this. And why is this important? Telcos carry and have large number of data around usage. We know how much airtime you buy and data and voice. We also know which cell phone number, which device you have. We also know how long you've had that device. We also know how long you've been with us and how you've been paying your services unto us. So with this amount of this data, we are able to give you a profile of some sort that allows a client some sort of credit that will be risk averse based on a client that wants to implement the solutions. So we are making this available through the use of APIs. We cannot send this data and dump it on your lap. We have to send it in a way that it's in real time, and it also helping you make use of what you can do. And you don't have to, you wouldn't get this data anywhere else in the world except you are getting it through an Excel file if it wouldn't be given to you via the connectivity and integration of an API. And just to move on quite a bit, we also onboard third parties, and in this case, we are talking about an interesting one, such as a natural language processing, call it NLUs. I just want to let it speak for itself. It's really one of the innovative ones, and specifically, this solution in this case has been brought about by a South African youngster in Cape Town, a graduate. They have been around, they have been incubated by Google's, and this is the solution that they have. It's great in contact centers. It's enabled, it's AI enabled to understand the sentiment for clients, and not only that, to really help transcribe in real time using chatbots. So how would something like this work? Let's have a look. Let's see.
Interact with your customers in their native languages. Are you tired of you and your customers being lost in translation? Or do you wish to automate some or all of your customer-facing processes? There are many South Africans who cannot interact with digital services properly due to a language barrier. At Wakali AI, we can help you engage with your customers in the languages they understand and trust. We offer a natural language processing toolkit for African languages to help organizations and innovators to build digital solutions in languages that people are familiar with. At Wakali, our accurate AI models don't just understand written language, they also understand the spoken version, allowing us to automate processes and extract insightful meaning from your customer engagements, whether they're happening through text or speech. Let us help you. 1. Reduce up to 80% of your service and support inquiries. 2. Provide 24/7 automated support. 3. Improve customer acquisition. 4. Reduce operational costs. 5. Build impactful bespoke solutions powered by conversational AI. All of this in languages that your customers understand and trust. What's more, our user-friendly, no-code dashboard makes it easy for you to build, train, test, and deploy multilingual conversational AI. For custom deployment, all your developers have to do is use our REST APIs to integrate into whatever platform they want. Well, what are you waiting for? Head on over to our website and interact with your customers.
Thank you so much. That's it. That's all, in our side is also empowered by AI, and this is our partner. And we expose the solutions like this via API. And the use is in the contact center spaces, and it's also in the chatbots. What we found that great companies have great chatbots and they've got great FAQs, but they're mostly only in English. And I understand South African context, hence a solution like this that will really enable in real time, without interfering with the customer, translate as the customer is talking. Sometimes the client can send a voice note, it's allowed. It will transcribe what the voice note is saying and send it to your CRM system and trigger an action. If it was a self-service to buy airtime, a person can send a voice note, buy me 10 Rand airtime. That triggers it straight to your CRM platform or to the back end to give it back to the user, without the user necessarily having to speak any other English, but to really just speak the way that they speak. And it understands the South African lingo. It understands the way and all the nuances within Xhosa and Zulu and all the differences. So I think that's the end on our side. That's just it in action. That just shows here, it's a bit small. You might not help it. It shows that a client can be speaking in Xhosa, and the transcription will be happening differently in a different language that's required by the business, or in Zulu, whichever language that the client is using. And why the telco data sets? It's quite simple. We are always on, and data privacy is key for us because we're regulated, and the telco data set is quite unique. And what we do on our side is that it's invisible. We're not intrusive. By use of APIs, we're not requiring a client to do anything except for the integration that was done by an enterprise, and the journey in the back end is quite simple. So as a business, what would you do to unbundle your services and bring in other APIs to help you move forward? Take the approach, outside-in approach when you are delivering systems, and also use the ecosystem that we have. We have partners, even in this room. There's so much collaboration that is right here in this room to expose our services and to consume from each other from the betterment and to cause the network effects. It's not anyone who has to sit and say, this is nice things about platforms. If it's out there, it's for everyone, and for the betterment and revenue share for everyone, because all we want to see everyone is revenues. So thank you so much. That's the end for me. If anyone has any questions, go for it.
Insights with the customer's consent, obviously, to third parties, not only that. In other words, if I am an underbanked individual with business, and you guys know me, you've got a wealth of data on me, and I require that data for a third party to make decisions on, would you guys expose it? Or would you partner in that regard to expose that data?
100%. So our modus operandi, the way we operate in Chenosis, is true partnerships. We are a startup. We don't do everything. We are clear about that. We don't know everything. We are clear about that. We will work with whomever that we need to, who has expertise in an area, hence partnerships. And yes, with certain things like consent API, we can allow individuals, that's now not on a B2B level, but on a B2C level, we will allow individuals to say, you've got my data, please expose it for me to this institution, which is what I think open banking is trying to achieve. Obviously in the banking space using all the big stuff, but in the telco space, there's something that we call it that is called open GSMA in this space. So with the data that you have, how can clients have access and decide who it's sent to and how it's sent to those individuals? Cool. Thank you. Go for it.
Hi, Yolanda.
Hi.
Can you just talk to, you say you're a startup, so can you just talk to how mature your APIs are, and have you gone live, have you got customers, have you started commercializing, and if not, what is the timelines on that? Thank you.
Thank you so much. So today I tried not to go into the product level, even though it maybe sounded like, but I really tried not to go product. But yes, everything I've given you an inkling to around SIM swap, around customer tenure, around recycle and device location, around KYC, mobile to person match, silent mobile number verification, the one that was displayed, around the third-party APIs. They're currently live as we speak, and they can be consumed as we speak. So if there's any interest, there is Natasha or even our stand outside. We will take your details, and we will explore with you. We're not going to sell anything. We will explore and see where our journey, if we, as a place of convergence, where we can partner and take something to the market for your clients, and we do that. Thank you so much.